Hello, Internet Magic Man here again from MMOBomb.com, bringing you another first look. This one is for a game that's in alpha right now, and you can see that in the upper right. Alpha, in development, graphics not final. I'm playing it in a browser because that's the way the alpha is being run. Now, the final version of the game is intended to be a full downloadable client, so if you're not a big fan of browser games, just deal with it for the first look. It's not the way the final version is going to be displayed. There's also plans to pull this out onto tablets as well, so you would need a full client of some type. But we're talking today about Prismata. It's an interesting mashup from Lunarch Studios, and I've been kind of following it lately. We mentioned it on a free-to-play cast a week or two ago. We'll be doing this first look, and we'll be talking about it on this week's free-to-play cast in a little more detail, because it kind of intrigues me. So let's go into it. If you like collectible card games, if you're into real-time strategy, things like StarCraft, and this might be for you. This might be for you. This is going to be a personal flavor thing. And immediately, don't think I'm going to be spending a ton of money on cards. That's not the way this works, and that's not the way Lunarch is planning to monetize this. In fact, if you watch their trailer, they say, hey, free, no grinding, you know, all the stuff's available to you. And there's, well, you know what? Let's just get into it. If you get into the alpha, there's a brief tutorial video. There's also a rules and manual. I do suggest you take a look at those because right now the in-game tutorial is not finished yet. So if you try to just jump into the campaign, you're probably going to get owned, and I probably will on this video, but that's okay. I just want to show it to you. So take a look. We've got home and news. Obviously, those would be exactly what you think they are. Campaign is your single-player missions, and right now there's quite a few. Even some different bosses, some puzzles, some defense tactics options. Very cool. So plenty to do there. Challenge mode, of course, you could play a ranked match. There is a global leaderboard. I would imagine that all of these things are going to be fleshed out into a much prettier UI as the game moves from alpha to beta and into launch. But it's nice to see that they're all there already. You can, of course, practice versus the computer. That's where we're going to start, and you can set the rules on practicing versus the computer. For instance, you can use the beginner set, base +5, base +8, Grandmaster. I'll explain what those mean as soon as we get into a game here. Replay, you can take a look and watch one. This was me, so you could watch me playing a bot a couple days ago. And then, of course, tournaments. So, very cool to see all of these types of things in here. Let's jump in, we'll challenge the computer, and take a look at it. So here's your layout, and okay, yeah, some of the art, you may not like it, that's fine. Again, it's alpha, all this stuff is subject to change, and as part of Lunarch's Kickstarter campaign, they do mention there's a lot of art that we would really like to upgrade, and not only that, but server infrastructure, but the core of the game is here. So what's the point? Well, I'm the lower half of the board. You'll see I've got 6 drones and 2 engineers out. My opponent has 7 drones and 2 engineers. That means I'm going to get to go first, so they got an extra drone to kind of cancel out, or at least help mitigate first turn advantage. And in the lower left, you'll see that I've got resources, much like an RTS. I've got gold, I've got energy or electricity, and then I've got 3 different types of resources, green, blue, and red. We'll just call them by their colors to keep it easy, so there's no confusion. So, what do? Well, the object of the game is both my opponent and I have access to the same set. Remember, at the beginning, we set this to just the basic set. So this is it. These are the only things my opponent and I can build. There's no deck that they could power up a strategy and raffle stomp me with it. We're both going to be building out of the same things. And maybe we have a little bit of strategy with this build. Maybe we don't. Maybe we've never played with some of these units before. So that could all change. When you start getting into base +5 and base +8, a second tab becomes available right here. And what that does is adds a very unique sort of random element to the match. They throw new units in there, 5 or 8 units, depending on whether you picked +5 or +8. Those units are random and totally change every time you play, so it's very unlikely you're going to get the same match. against another opponent. So it adds that, okay, here's the new pieces, let's figure out some strategy. So I'm going to take my first turn. What do I have to do first? Well, I've got to collect my resources. Drones generate 1 gold each turn, and engineers generate 1 electricity or 1 energy each turn. Now, the energy's already been allocated to me, so I've got 2, but I've got to collect this gold. Now, I can sit here, and I can click every single one if I want to. But remember, the final idea for Prismata is to be a client-based game and a tablet-based game. So there's got to be some easier ways to do things, particularly with swiping on a tablet. And yeah, this stuff's already here. So if I click on drone and hold and just drag, it'll take all the resources. When you see our drones and engineers and pieces start really multiplying on the battlefield here, you're going to appreciate those little nice easy ways to grab things. So I don't have, on my first turn, I really can't do much. I have 6 gold, I have 2 energy, and automatically it highlights the things that I could potentially build and just leaves the rest of them darker, so you can spend some time getting to know these things. More drones is where we want to go off the bat. I'm going to put 2 drones out there. They cost 3 gold and 1 energy apiece, so that eats up all my resources, but I need more gold. We're going to end turn. You won't see me clicking over here very much. I'll be hitting spacebar. Again, nice little one-tap shortcuts. So my turn again. The opponent pulled the same move. Let's take all my gold. Let's get another drone out. And I'm going to put a blast forge out because I need to start getting either blue or red resources so that I can build these things. Nothing in this deck focuses on green, so not even the green resource generator is available. So I'm going to get 1 drone out, and I'm going to drop a blast forge too. At the beginning of my turn, I'll gain 1 blue resource. So we'll end the turn, send it back. Okay, interesting change. The opponent did 2 drones and 2 engineers. So let's go ahead and we're going to do 2 drones. And you know what? We're going to put up 1 engineer as well so that we can start getting some more electricity or energy. Now, I do have 1. So what happened? Notice in the lower left, if you have gold left over from a turn, it will carry over into the next turn. But your blue energies and your green and your reds do not. You lose them at the end of your turn if you don't use them. So there's no real incentive for storing those resources. Go ahead and spend them. Get them off the board. All right, so we're going to build another drone, and we're going to bring out a steel splitter. At the beginning of my turn, I gain 1 sword. We'll call it 1 attack. We'll call it. And now it's going to start to get interesting because I have the ability to attack and the opponent has the ability to defend. Now, the opponent is loading up on drones, so they're going to have resources available. I want to get an Animus out so that I can start collecting red. And we need some more drones. Now, my steel splitter here has an attack of 1, a defense of 3. So I can go ahead and choose to attack with that this turn. And you see a nice big sword. Went a little fast for me to show what happens with the attacking. I'll wait for the computer to attack me, and we'll show you what that does. So now Animus, unlike the Blast Forge, gives me 2 reds per turn, but that's not going to be enough because I want to start getting Shadow Fangs on the board. So I need another Animus. Whoop, it also helps if I pick up my gold. I need to get another Animus out. Let's start getting some walls out in case we have to defend. And we're going to put out the Tarsier. It takes 2 turns to construct, but at the start of my turn, I will gain 1 attack. And we are going to attack this turn, but I'm going to go slow here. So I clicked it, I get 1 attack. When I end my turn, the opponent, if they have anything out that has the ability to defend, which they don't now, they would get to assign the order of defense. Sometimes order matters, so certain pieces die and certain pieces don't. In this case, they're just going to take the 1 damage, and it's either going to kill an engineer or kill a drone. And then that's going to be the end of the turn. I'm sorry, it's actually going to kill an engineer because there's 5 of them out on the board, so they are the only ones that can defend. So they'll survive this turn, no big deal. They're going to lose an engineer, but not a ton of damage. I'm not going to be able to breach them. I'll tell you about breaching when we get there. Lots of gold flowing in on that side of the board. Now they finally got some resources generating here. So it's time to start making our move. We've got 2 Animus out. Let's put out Shadowfang. It's not going to do anything this turn. It'll do something next turn. It'll give me 2 power at the beginning of my turn to attack. We're also going to... Let's start putting out some more Steel Splitters so we can amp up the attack, and we'll throw an Engineer out there just to use the last 2 gold. I'm going to attack again. It's still only 1, so we'll knock an Engineer off. And now we've got some items that can attack and defend on that side of the board. Notice that the attack and defend values show up on both sides of the board here. So right now, if I did not make a single move... I ended my turn, I would have 28 defense available to me. That's a combination of 3 defense from the wall, 3 from this Steel Splitter, 3 from this Steel Splitter, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the Engineers. It's a combination of everything I have on the board. My attack is giving me automatically 3 from Shadowfang generating 2, and the fully constructed Tarsier generating 1. So we're in good shape as far as attack goes. But I want to put out another Shadowfang. We're going to start stacking some of this, these extra resources. Now, normally I would be worried about getting attacked here, and so I might hold back one of these Steel Splitters. But there's not much on the board to attack with, and the opponent's going to get to choose what to defend with. So I'm going to use these, which means they won't be available to defend on my next turn. But... And see, now rather than lose their attack options, my opponent opted to kill off their Engineers so that they could retain their ability to attack. Alright, let's see. Now the Rhino prompt blocks immediately, so you can put it out and it'll be able to block. But it only has 2 stamina, so you can only use it twice. So yeah, I don't like the Rhino card for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Alright, let's put out... You know what, let's put out 2 more drones. Let's get another wall up. And we'll put out a Tarsier, and in 2 turns, that'll help. Now, I'm going to full-blown attack here with all 3 Steel Splitters, because I want to start trimming the Rhino herd here. And perfect, my opponent opted most of that to go to the Rhinos, who'd be useless after 2 clicks anyway. Now we're really ramping up the attack here. And again, I'm going slow so that we can kind of get this, because it is a... Oh, Flame Animus, that's nice. Start of your turn, gain 1 red, and I didn't see that last match, so that's why I didn't notice it this match. You know, no, I think we're in a good place here, so we're just going to keep ramping up the pressure. So we're attacking with 8, Steel Splitters 8, all of that. We'll get out another Steel Splitter and another Shadowfang. We'll attack. So I just keep progressively coming with bigger and bigger, and although my opponent has an awful lot of gold per turn, it's vastly short on some resources right now, and they're just trying to play the catch-up game with the attack that's coming in every turn. I've got plenty of walls to defend against, that's why I'm not shy about using my Steel Splitters here. I'm just going to keep stacking those Shadowfangs that add 2 attack every single turn. And because my damage does not exceed my opponent's defenses, my opponent gets to assign the damage accordingly. They can pick what dies and what doesn't. As soon as the attack is over, everybody heals. So you don't have to worry about, well, this has 1 hit point left, this has 2 hit... No, they heal. If I attack in a situation and my defender cannot match the amount of attack that I'm coming with, I will get a breach, which means I can go through and actually pick what units I want the attack to hit and destroy against my opponent. So we should come across one of those pretty quickly here. Lots of stuff going up, lots of walls now, so I'm gonna have to break down some walls. I've got plenty. You know what? Let's put some more drones out. And you know what? Let's take one of those away. Can I? Oh, I don't have a blue. So yeah, we might as well just do that. I was going to maybe throw out a flame animus, but we'll wait on that. We'll throw out a Tarsier. And, yeah, sure. One more drone. And let's push the attack now with 16 attack. There goes all the walls and the engineers, all but one. As soon as I breach this game's going to be over, because I'm going to destroy a bunch of those drones. Right now, although my opponent, DocileBot, is getting a lot of gold per turn, it's really just keeping them in check with the attack that's incoming, so that they're not in a good place right now. I'm doing very well here. So it's time to just continue going on the offensive. And we'll add an engineer or two just to up my own personal defense. And here comes 19. So everything that my opponent keeps throwing out in their turn ends up getting eaten back up. And now they're going to be in some trouble here. They're about to lose steel splitters and walls in a big way. Now, Shadowfang's running low on supplies. You'll notice little tick bars below it. That means you can only play so many. So really, again, I'm taking this nice and slow so that we can see the action and the rules. It really doesn't take very long to pick up. We're only 15 turns into it. This game's almost over. It forces you to really act. You only get a limited supply of each of these cards. So, yes, forces the action. You know what? Let's just scrape, and we'll do that. Overrun. So now I've got 3 damage left, and I've breached them. So I can assign the damage the way I want here. And you know what? I'm gonna let you have gold. I'm gonna start taking away your resources. Wait, what's going on? Cannot destroy engine. Oh, those are all under construction. Okay, well then we'll take out a drone. Lots and lots of gold, but we kind of put the choke on, or very early on, our opponent being able to defend themselves. And they got caught in having to constantly build units just to defend, and they were getting wiped out every turn. So we're going to attack again. Now we've got 25. Now my opponent's breached big time, so we're going to get rid of all blast forges. I still have 1 damage to get rid of, so we'll get rid of another drone. And this is all but over. 16 turns in. Well, 17 turns in. You know what? I think we can pretty much end this one. I love the click and drag. Whoop. These guys can stay here for another turn, because without gold, you're not going to be able to do much anyway. You got a lot of resources, but no gold. And now we end it. There it is. I still have breach damage to use. Yeah, you're right, I do. Sorry. And there it is. DocileBot goes down. And now we get a little lovely graph. So DocileBot right there is pretty much when it started to get nasty. Around turn 6, turn 7... when my attack started going up, and the bot got pushed into a situation where they were constantly just spawning enough things to defend themselves. So that's a game of Prismata against the computer. Now, I'm going to go to the campaign. I'm going to go to Scenario 1 Normal. I'm going to play a little bit faster now that you know the what's going on and the clicks and the drags, and when things are flying everywhere, it's kind of intimidating when you first look at the game. But now that you know what's going on, I'm going to play a little faster, and I'm going to warn you, I will probably get owned here. I've played the campaign once or twice, and you see it's a very limited set. You know, no Shadow Fangs or anything like that. And for the life of me, this thing just wallops my ass. So let's see what we can do here. We need to get some drones out quickly. And that's what the opponent does too, not surprising. Let's get another drone and an engineer out. Computer makes the same move. You know you're doing it right. And let's, whoops. No, oh, no, I did not want to do that. And let's go with, I want the Blast Forge out so that I can start building blue walls. I'm gonna take that, get a couple more drones out there. What can I take? Okay, I can get a wall out there. No, you know what? I'm gonna actually put a steel splitter out and try to go on the offensive. Get another steel splitter, another 2 drones, we'll get another engineer, and we'll attack with that steel splitter. Loses an engineer. Alright, let's go ahead and get an Animus out. We'll get another steel splitter out, and more drone action. Again, let's keep going on the offensive. That's kind of a wasted attack there. But that's okay, we'll put out another steel splitter. We should probably look at getting walls out too. But that's alright, we'll start building with the Tarsier. Get an engineer and a drone, and we'll attack with these guys. Now it's 3 damage, so probably opt to lose. Oh, opted to kill an engineer and keep the wall. Interesting. Interesting. It's all about assigning your damage. Get another Tarsier out. Notice that my opponent is doing the same thing. That's going to hurt in a lot of turns as things start piling up. So we'll get 2 of them out. Nope, I don't want to have my turn. I want to attack. Still opts to keep the wall, sacrificing 2 engineers to do it. And a second wall's out. Now my opponent's attacking with 4. I get to pick what to defend with, and I left myself wide open here. I did not put out a wall last turn, and I used all of my steel splitters. So unfortunately, I got to nuke 4 engineers. That was not smart of me to leave myself defenseless like that. Let's not make that mistake again. Let's get a wall up. And we need some engineers again. And we'll go with more drones. Drones are running low on supplies. I'm going to leave 1 steel splitter here. I don't think my opponent... Wow! Okay, they actually opted to kill off their engineers to keep the walls. So 6 damage to deal with. I can defend 3 of it here and 3 of it here, but I lose both cards. That's okay. I'll deal with that. I need to get another Blast Forge out so that I can build more than 1 wall per turn. And, yeah, there we go. Whew, 9 damage. Order of defense is key here, but I don't think... So that I could do that. If I could get this, I don't... Okay, you know what? We'll do it like that. Didn't want to... That was a bad turn for me, but that's okay. We're gonna come back. We're not. We're totally not. But we're gonna try. We need some engineers. Get out another Tarsier. And we're in trouble here. We're about to get breached. We're just gonna end my turn. I'm gonna leave those guys available to defend because I don't want to get breached. But this is pretty much over. Alright, put out some more walls. Now, I'm kind of caught in the same thing that the first bot was caught in. I'm constantly just keeping my defenses at an even keel. There's not really much going on here. Those aren't going to help me now. It's too late game. I should have gotten those earlier. But I don't like the Rhino cards. Oh boy. And I'm about to be breached. See, now if I keep them up, they can defend. But I want the gold because I need it. Walls are running low on supplies, so Prismata's really forcing the action here. It's kind of forcing the end. Tarsier's out. And we'll just end my turn there. I'm gonna get breached here. I told you the damn scenario was gonna kick my ass again. There it is. They get to start picking. Yeah, end my turn. GG. GG, bot. GG. Just space barring through my turns here. And that'll do it. GG, we're doing fine until about turn 9. That's when it kind of, I went on the defensive. And pretty much the exact thing that happened with the other match, me against the bot. There came a moment where I was forced onto defense and I never recovered. Well, that's Prismata, gang, by Lunarch Studios. Right now on MMOBomb.com, we are giving away a few alpha keys. Yes, it's in a browser. No, that's not the way it's going to end. Check it out if you dig it. I really kind of dig this one, and I like the way Lunarch is planning to monetize it. I hope it works out for them, because it also sounds like one that, I don't know if they would make a ton of money on it. Who knows? I mean, maybe they've got better ideas and bigger ideas that they just haven't published yet. So, until next time, gang, this is Magic Man from MMOBomb.com saying stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.